Hello and welcome back to the channel.
Yes, welcome back everyone. If you're watching this video, well, it means one of two things. Either we've got our YouTube channel back up and running and it's live, or we haven't and you're watching this video on one of our social media channels. But either way, as things stand right now, as we're filming, we currently don't have access to our own YouTube channel.
Not at the moment. It's a very long process.
Very long-winded process. If you're new around here and you wonder what we're talking about, well, maybe the thumbnail sort of gives it away. We're normally up and about on here doing sort of caravan-related videos. That's what we've been normally doing for the last almost 10 years. More recently, because of Helen's health, we've been doing more content from home, and the channel's become a bit more generic in terms of who we are and what we do. But primarily, we're about caravanning, aren't we? That's what we do. And the good news is, Helen is actually getting fitter. And
well, I'm over halfway now, so everything's looking quite dandy, yes.
Going away next week.
We are, yeah.
So Caravan will be out, we're going to a concert, and at the concert we're going to go and see Nile Rodgers.
Chic.
Yeah. And we're hoping that the weather improves because it's been rubbish. But we thought we should just give you a quick update as to exactly, without getting into finite detail, but just give you an idea of how we've found ourselves in the situation that we've lost access to YouTube. Because anyone with a YouTube account, well, this could happen to anyone with a YouTube account, and not necessarily even if you've got a YouTube account. It's getting hacked is what's happened, and it's something that could happen to any one of us at any time, and you don't realise until it happens probably maybe just how vulnerable you are. Now, the thing is, although I'm retired from work, in my corporate working days, you know, I was having to regularly attend and indeed sometimes brief out and train on cyber security within our business because we're a big global company. I used to work for Coca-Cola, and so that was always a threat. And of course, if your systems go down for any reason, then the impact can be immense. Now, in our case, we're not talking a sort of corporate global business, but when we were hacked, the impact that it had on us personally was quite horrific, wasn't it? You know, perhaps you can just explain how we were feeling when we got hacked, and I'll explain how we got hacked in a second.
Well, you can't believe it really, to see your channel, the things on it that you haven't put on it. It's just really quite shocking, really.
Yeah, you've no longer got control. When you've lost control of something that you have total control over normally, then it's quite a shocking thing to see. So let me give you a bit of background. First of all, the regulars will know that from time to time we do product reviews, and just to put a bit of perspective behind why we do it and what we get offered. When we set the channel up, like most YouTube channels, we just wanted to capture our own sort of caravanning journeys for our own reference, really, and to sort of let our family see them. And over time, what we found is the family had got a bit bored with it, and everyone else in the world really wants to see it. So, you know, we've actually grown as a channel. We're getting very close to 20,000 subscribers. Of course, you know, 20,000 subscribers is one thing, but it's actually the amount of people that view our channel, because we get about 100,000 people viewing our channel every single month. And then there becomes a bit of an expectation on us that we're going to churn out videos on a regular basis, which we have done for 10 years. But it actually costs us money to do it. And, you know, perhaps more than people realise, particularly if you're going to take your caravan away.
And the equipment as well is quite expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, buying all the camera equipment, the editing equipment, the computers and stuff that you need, drones, then booking sites. You know what it costs to stay on a site, you know, probably 40, 50 quid a night now. You've got to travel to get there. Petrol's really expensive. You spend your time filming, so your time is hard to put a price on your time, but it's your time. You spend your time editing, and you spend your time answering people's comments. So it's turned from a bit of a hobby into almost like running a business, except it's a business where we don't make any money. It costs, it doesn't pay us. We generate an income. I want to explain this to you because it's a bit to do with the background. We generate an income from YouTube, but the income is nothing like the expenditure that we incur to produce the videos that we do. So we don't make any profit. We don't make any money. And actually, because we've had private healthcare lately, our savings are going that way. So we've got to be a bit more cautious about what we spend and how we spend it. So when companies approach you and they want to do collaboration type videos, generally our approach is, well, if it's something that we would like, i.e. a product that we get and we get to keep it.
Or our subscribers may be interested in these items.
So if it's something we want or something we like or something we think that you might like or want, then we'll do it. And sometimes we get offered money to do it. So that's another consideration for us.
Not often though, is it?
Not often, no, not often, but sometimes we do. And as the channel has grown, we get more and more of these requests coming down every day. In fact, I would say we get requests every day. Probably, I don't know, we probably get somewhere in the region of about 10 requests a week to do collaboration type videos.
There's a lot of things which we just aren't interested in, and we just knock it on the head right away.
Yeah, and also we don't want the tail to wag the dog, as in, you know, it's our channel, it's about us and it's about what we do. If we want to do a 5-minute slot in a video or something, and sometimes we do a total video on a product review, that's our choice if we want to do it. And of course it's your choice if you want to watch it or not. I mean, a lot of people skip through them, they fast forward to where that bit's finished. But it's what generates a bit of income for us, and that income goes a little bit of a way towards helping us with our expenses. It doesn't make us any money. Things like buy me a coffee, which we really appreciate anyone who buys us a coffee, you know, that just helps us a little bit as well. And of course any revenue we get from advertising. So when we get approached, we consider it, we look at it, and we're doing more of them, to be fair, because our expenses are going up. And some time ago, or probably a few weeks ago now, I was approached by a nutrition drinks company, a sort of health product.
Which we've seen them on other people's channels before.
Yeah, I mean, lots of YouTube channels, you'll see them. You know, we take this nutrition drink, it's food and vitamins on the go and all that sort of stuff. So we'll have a little look at it. And they were offering potentially a payment. So I wanted to know more. So I always generally, and I did let myself down here, but I always generally check the email address of who sent me this invitation in the first place to see if that email address corresponds to the company website that they say they're representing. Now, sometimes they don't. And the reason sometimes that they don't is because they're acting as a middleman, like an agency, if you like, trying to get people like us, content creators, on board for another company. So it's not unusual if they don't, but we still try and double check what was going on. And that happened here. So I was sort of knocked it back to say, like, I need to know a bit more about you and what you do, etc., before I was even consider it. But actually, last week, was it last Monday? I can't quite, the 2nd of June, anyway, I eventually got an email back from them. And we'd had 2 or 3 emails sort of to and fro. And I got one back to say the company are interested in working with us. So I thought, well, that's interesting. Here's a link to their website. We're going to have a little look. When I got to their website, it says sign in using Google. Now, I would think most people have been onto websites where you can sign in either using Google, Facebook, your Apple account, whatever. So it's not unusual. I signed into a lot of websites using Google. Canva, if you're familiar with content creation, if you're a content creator, you might know of Canva. Sign in with Google. And I use some other software companies as well where I sign in with Google. So it's not completely unusual. And we were sat exactly where we are now, weren't we? We were sort of having a bit of lunch, we were chatting, we were talking about other things, and this email popped up. So I was kind of halfway in a conversation with Helen and halfway looking at this. And I'm not a great multitasker. Most men aren't, are they, Helen? You know, we don't multitask quite like you ladies do. So I was speaking to Helen and sort of checking this out at the same time, and it said sign in with Google. So I clicked sign in with Google, and that's the start of the big mistake, all on me. And as soon as I clicked it, sign in with Google, then in front of me on my laptop, which I've got in front of me now, a little notification popped up from Google to say that there is a notification code to change your password. I thought, hang on, I don't want to change my password. Someone's trying to get into my account. So I immediately went into sign into Google to change the password back. Now, when you go to change the password back, there's a bit of a 2-stage process, a verification process. It will say to input a code that you can either pick up from an email or from an app called Authenticator, which some of you might be familiar with. So I chose the Authenticator route. So I clicked on my Authenticator app, and what that does, it throws up a code. And you've got about, I can't remember if it's 30 seconds or 60 seconds to get your code in before a new code comes up. So it's constantly changing codes. Now, if you see the colour of the code change to red, it means you're running out of time to put that code in. So I saw it turn red. I thought, oh, let's wait for the new code coming up. And it never came. In fact, when that red code had gone, Authenticator went completely. So now I've lost access to YouTube, access to my Authenticator. The next thing, within just a matter of seconds, came another notification saying that my email address associated with YouTube has been changed from my Gmail account that I normally use to another one. Well, I haven't done that. So I'm trying to get in to Google and YouTube to stop all this happening, and in front of me I can see it all falling away. And we were just out of control. We could see it happening, lost control, mad panic. I said to you, we've been hacked. Do you remember? Mm. And you were saying, what do you mean we've been hacked? Hacked where? You know, and I sort of haven't got time to explain to Helen why we've been hacked, because I need to try and stop us being hacked. And of course you do panic, because it's like someone trying to rob you. If someone was trying to break in your car or break into you or nick your handbag or something, you know, what do? You start to panic. You're being attacked. And that's what was happening. It's pretty scary, wasn't it? Mm. Really scary.
The scariest thing about it is you can't speak to anybody at Google, can you?
No, I mean, I will come on to that in not loads of detail, but I want to just explain why this has taken such a while to sort out, because we've had a lot of you reach out to us saying, where are you? Is everything okay? Are you coming back? We're trying to get back, and we might be back when you're watching this video, but at the moment we're not, as we make it. Where does this thing end? So the next thing I went into was to go and make sure that all passwords and that were protected and safeguarded. As far as banking and online shopping, so our Amazon account, you know, eBay and places like that, where generally you've got your details already input. So if you want to go and order something, you just order it. And we don't want anyone ordering stuff on Amazon and eBay, so I had to go and do all that. While all that's going on, Helen's been in touch with our son, who's pretty clued up on this sort of thing, and our son-in-law as well. And he's said to me, is your antivirus activated? And I thought, antivirus activated. And we've got a number of different devices. We access all of our accounts on different devices, but the device I was on, actually it wasn't activated. But I went and made sure that it was activated, and immediately I went and did a scan of the computer to see if we can pick up who's got us. Now, it scanned just under 1 million files, so there's like 940,000 files were scanned, and it just came up with one issue, and the issue was from this person that had hacked us. And it's given me an identification as to who they were, as in not as a person, but you know how they've got in, and some numbers that correspond to who they are, and also a Trojan horse, which if you're into sort of this sort of thing, that might mean something to you. I'm not really into it in a big way, but the Trojan horse is basically where you've been infected, and it's all automated. So when I thought someone was changing our password, changing their email contacts, changing phone number contacts and secondary email contacts at YouTube, it was all being done like robotic, automated by this Trojan horse, you know. So I fell for the oldest trick in the book, and I was tempted by what was put in front of us, and I just clicked the link, log in with Google, and lost everything within how long, Helen?
7 minutes, wasn't it?
5.
Oh, 5 minutes. Yeah.
12 minutes past 2 was the initial contact, and by 17 minutes past 2, that Gmail, that's the email, Google account, YouTube were gone.
But our saving grace is there was no banking accounts or anything else attached to that Gmail account.
No.
So that was just purely for that. So that was a saving grace, wasn't it? So it drives home the importance of having some cyber security, I guess. It
does. And I suppose there are a number of learnings from our perspective. And maybe you can learn a little bit if you're not already clued up from our own mistake. And number one learning is anything that you use to sign in online, wherever possible, I would recommend that you have at least a 2-step sign-in process. So put an email and a password in is step 1. Step 2 then is where you need to get some verification. You find it often with online banking. You'll get a text come to your phone with a code that you have to put in. You know, if you haven't got those sort of things set up then I would recommend doing it, because although it might not be a financial or banking organisation that you're dealing with, they may well hold some information on you, like credit card details, or like with Amazon and stuff like that. So you make sure you've got at least a 2-stage sign-in process. So not just your email and password, but your email, password, and then get a text. And in terms of recovery, so if you were to forget your password, or you think someone's nicked it and taken over your account, then you need some safeguards, like a secondary email address, which is not the same as the one that you're using. So to verify it yourself, that person might not know that you've got that secondary email address. They could change it, but it's always on record that you've got that email address as a secondary. And this is where we've got to with Google, which I'll just explain in a second. So make sure you've got a secondary email address. Make sure you've got a phone number that's secondary to the account as well. And so those are all backups. And actually, it's probably a good idea to have a backup to the backup. So this will help you if you get hacked. And this is where we've been fortunate. As Helen says, the Gmail account, which we generally use for YouTube, we don't use it for anything else other than YouTube. So he couldn't trace and go back and look at any old emails if he got into my account, which he hadn't done, as it happens. I now realise he hadn't gone in to my account, he just changed the email address. I now have been able to produce evidence of who we are, because when you start to deal with Google to get it all back, as Ellen says, you don't deal with people, do you? It's all done like AI and robot chat, or go and read this frequently asked questions on how to recover your account, and you do go around in circles. You can't get anywhere. And we spent probably the first 2 days getting nowhere. And then my son then came back to me and said, "Dad, you need to contact YouTube, of all places, on X, on Twitter, X. There is a dedicated sort of YouTube platform.
Team YouTube, isn't it?
Team YouTube, yeah. And just explain what's happened to you, and they will guide you." Now they did. Now it's slow, because they're guiding millions of people, clearly. So you're lucky if you get one bit of correspondence back a day, which I was getting via a DM, a direct message.
It just showed us that there's so many people in the same situation.
Well, as soon as we went on to that, we could see, this has just happened to us, but actually we could see what's happening to loads of people all the time. And the hard thing is that, the fact that it's happened is, really, well, I can't describe it. I was, apart from being upset and annoyed with myself, I was in panic mode. It was really quite nerve-wracking, isn't it? And anyone who's ever been robbed or had their house broken into or car nicked or anything like that, they'll know what I'm talking about. That feeling of, it's a personal invasion. But then when you can't speak to anyone, if I could speak to someone, I could explain to them in 20 minutes max who I am, what we do, what's happened. I can prove who I am, da-da-da-da-da. When you're dealing with a robot or trying to do things automated, they're not asking the right questions. We're not having a conversation like we're having now. So X was brilliant, as in, what were they called again, Lane? That YouTube?
Team YouTube.
Team YouTube. Yeah. They got the ball rolling. But they wanted to send me stuff on my Gmail account. I said, no good sending it to my Gmail account. I haven't got access to it anymore. I've lost Google. I've got no access to that. You can send it to this other email address if you want. They said, no, it's got to be a Gmail account.
Very frustrating, wasn't it?
I thought, this is crazy. So at about day 3, I finally got through to them and said, look, I have got another Gmail account, because I've got more than one YouTube channel. So can you send correspondence to that? Yes, we can. Great. And then over the course of the last 8 days, I've managed to get access back to my Google account. So my banking details are on an account called AdSense. And if you're a creator, which I know a lot of creators, a lot of YouTubers watch our channel, you'll know what I'm talking about if you are monetized. So I've gone into my AdSense account since I've got Google back to check, has this guy gone in and hacked and put his own bank details in so that the advertising revenue goes to him and not to us? But he hadn't. I've checked it all out, and he actually hasn't changed any of that. And then Helen says, well, why have they bothered hacking you?
I don't know why they have.
Well, you scratch your head. And the only thing we know, as a lot of you will know, is that within an hour of being hacked, there were live streams of Bitcoin and crypto type currency videos going onto our channel. So all that this hacker wanted to do was reach out to people to sell Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That same night, the channel was taken down. But getting access back to it is difficult. One, because you can't speak to anyone. Two, because you get like one email a day.
And that usually comes in at night time.
Yeah, and I think they might be because they're in America, you know, 6 hours behind us. So we get the emails when they're in bed and we get them the next day. So it's quite slow. I'm quickly interjecting because, of course, we now know we have got YouTube back, and that's good news. And also, we're going to be going away. We've got some great videos to bring you. So look, the sun's out, the sky's blue. But you might remember, just before we were hacked in one of our previous videos, Helen had told you all how she was going to get me doing a whole load of work. And I tell you, she did. I've been like a slave in the garden. And I've got a few clips of some of the stuff that I did. So just stay tuned and watch that. But also stay tuned because, yeah, we're going to be bringing new videos to you from Norfolk and from Suffolk. We mentioned the Sheep concert already. We're going to be staying in a fabulous place. Well, we think it is. We've never been, but it looks like it's all right. It's right in the forest and it looks really, really quiet. And then we're moving over into Suffolk, towards the Suffolk coast, but not quite. A place called Saxmundham on Low Farm, so look out for that as well coming your way. We've got lots of videos in the pipeline, we really have, so we do appreciate you sticking with us. And just double check to make sure you are subscribed, and if you're not, well, now's your chance. Hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up and hit the notification bell, then you'll know when all the videos are coming out. And just to reassure you all, can you hear the seagulls? Just to reassure you all, if you're a subscriber, a member, or connected to us in any way, you couldn't possibly be hacked. It was just ourselves that were hacked. And if you're a YouTuber, a content creator, try and make sure this doesn't happen to you, because it's an absolute nightmare. There was a real danger we could lose everything. We were very fortunate we lost nothing. Over 300 videos and 10 years worth of work to get to almost 20,000 subscribers. We made it. We've got it all back. And now I'll be working extra hard to make sure that never happens to us again. I hope it doesn't happen to you. Right, here's me in the garden, working like a slave.
Well, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel.
And here we are.
We are, it's a glorious day.
Glorious is an understatement. It's a heat wave. It's going to be 35 degrees today. And this is about day 4 or 5 of this now. And we've got this weather for another week. So if you're out and about in your caravan, I do hope you've got air conditioning, because if you haven't, I do know that these little devils, they turn into ovens really, because they're a big metal box, which is exactly what an oven is. So with all the heat radiating and all the metal, we know they get very, very hot. So do your very best to stay cool. If I'm honest, I'm glad we're not out at the moment.
I am. For once, I am.
Yeah. So where else would you rather be? Well, get the curtains closed, keep the house cool, and maybe keep out of this heat whilst it's so intense. What do you reckon to that, Hel?
No. No can do, I'm afraid. I've got a few jobs lined up for you.
Yeah, if you
Now, as I said, because I'm recovering and we can't go anywhere, we're going to get all the jobs done so that when we are able to, we can just head off.
Hang on. We're going to get all the jobs done. What are you going to do?
Well, I've got to make up the list.
What list?
So anyway, I know he's been busy. He has been busy because he's looked after Ralph, and I've been in the hospital and he's been up and down, and he's actually done some work at Haven with the disco as well. So, but that's all over now. Well, it's all over now. So it's now back to work. So I wanted just to show you. I don't usually show people my garden when it's in this kind of state. It's only because of, you know, events that's taken place recently. But we'll show you a before and after, and I'll also show you, I'm going to show you where I get my plants from, and they're all here. Aren't they lovely? I love them colours. I've got a hay net, and I'm going to fill it up on the front of the house, so I'll show you that as well. But Dave's really going to be doing most of the other stuff.
Yeah. What she means is Dave's going to be doing everything. Look how long it is. So first job is going to be get this grass cut, surely, because I like to see quick results, because you can work from there. So cut the grass. There's some weeds to pull up. I'll get those pulled up in the middle of the grass as well.
We've got some jaggies in it, haven't we?
I know. Never-ending job, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's got to be done. All got to be weeded down here, all these borders. Also, the hedges have to be cut. The hedge at the front. What's this hedge called, Hel?
That's a laurel.
A laurel. And then we've got a privet over here. So that's all got to be cut as well. And then we've got a bit of everything there. Laurel, privet, conifer, all sorts over there, all got to be done.
Incidentally, I've got 2 hydrangeas here, 2 different colours, but look at the blooms on them. They're really doing quite well.
They're going to do well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So is this your hay net that you're going to do?
Yes.
Well, I can get that down for you. You can work on that, can't you?
Yeah.
So I'm going to move the car, get the lawnmower out first, cut the grass, do some trimming, and get that bit looking good. And I'm going to move on to the hedges. I normally start with that hedge over there, work my way over here. By the time I get to here, I'm flagging, if I'm honest.
I must say, I'm going to pay you a compliment now. He is very good at the hedges.
Yeah.
I say that, so you'll keep doing them.
Oh, of course you do, yeah. Compliments are few and far between in Helen's world, I'll tell you. Just going to cut to us now, nipping down to our local nursery where you go and see the old deer, as you call her, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, been going there for years, haven't you?
That's my highlight of the year, gone down there. Absolutely love it. All the different sea colours and flowers. Lovely. Favourite place.
Favourite place.
Shop.
Who needs a sweetie shop when you can get plants? I'm going to show some of these.
Do you have any comforts
Look at all these lovely baskets. Like, you can get these to order or come in and get them. Helen's going to do her own, I think. Oh, look at them. So we've been coming here for absolute years. The lady that owns this, she's an old lady, but she's very, very good. She does a lot of orders. She does the Yarmouth Market. She does all the holiday parks, or used to. I don't know if she does them all now, but she certainly used to. So this is just in Ormsby, just down the road from where we live. And as I say, we always come here. Look at these. Like Helen says, it's like being in a sweet shop for her. So we've got an order to pick up. Helen's ordered some plants, and also she wants to get some extras for the front garden. And we're going to do a little bit of a before and after on the front garden, so you'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And there's Ralphie boy. How are there, Ralph?
He's the biggest flower.
Yeah. And here we are back at the ranch. We've been down the nursery. And what you got then? What's this? Dahlias?
Gorgeous. Dahlias, yeah.
Yeah, they are nice, aren't they? And some yellow dahlias and some pink dahlias in there. So they're going to go in these borders in between the rose bushes, are they?
And they're I've got 10 begonias uprights for the top of my hay net, and I've got five or six trailers for it to come down the front.
5 there.
So really, I've watched Titmarsh, and I do know this. You've got to stuff them with plants so that they really expand and cover the whole.
I think you'll be going for more. So I think we put more than that in last year.
No, I think these are quite big plants. So I've got orange and lemons, and I think this one for the front, that's a deeper orange, she said.
Well, these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you go and put your feet up and have a cup of tea, and then I'll go and get out in this intense heat and start work.
Sounds good to me.
we're rabbiting on. If everything's gone to plan, we're up and running again, which is great. And we have had a lot of you contact us. We've had some people send us coffee. We've had a couple of buy me a coffees this week, just because people felt a bit sorry for us in our situation. So we really appreciate that. So we'll do some shout outs in the next video to all those people. But thank you to everyone who supports us. Thanks for staying with us. There'll be more caravanning type content coming up. I have got a lot of reviews to do. I've got some brilliant stuff to show you. But in the meantime,
Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
we will. Say bye, Ralphie. Say woof. Ralphie, say woof. Ralphie, say woof. Ralphie, say woof. Woof. Say it. Say woof. Okay, folks, so we'll leave it at that, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye. Bye.
Bye for now.